Hello, my name is Paulino Brenner, and I have the honor to introduce you to two wonderful world language teachers who are going to be presenting at the Central States Conference for the Teaching of Foreign Languages here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, March 12th to 14th, and they're here with me to tell you who they are and what they're going to be presenting. Hello, Myra, and hello, Lisa.
I've taught Spanish for 20 years, but right now I work in a middle school and a high school as a coordinator for International Baccalaureate. I'm a middle years program coordinator, working with grades 6 through 10. So I'm in a lot of language classrooms, but I also get to visit lots of other subject areas as well.
I teach at it's an urban school, about 850 kids, largely Hispanic. So I'm dipping my toes into the native speaker realm as well that I have never done before. It's a middle school and first year at that school. So it's a learning experience. So we're going to be talking about show and tell, a vocabulary session.
Thanks, Myra. We are looking forward to seeing you in Minneapolis. And our session on vocabulary is really taking the idea of, or moving away from the idea of a teacher as the one in control of the vocabulary list. We know that language really is a messy proposition, that we learn language in all different kinds of ways, and it doesn't necessarily come from learning a set list of vocabulary. And learning a set list of vocabulary isn't necessarily the most motivating thing to our students today. We live in a big world with so many things that are captivating to our students, things that are in the world that are going on that are maybe not necessarily the best things, but things that kids need to be aware of about world events. And we need to help our kids find that vocabulary to engage with those things, the things that interest them, the things that help them become connected to a bigger world, and helping kids find that vocabulary and helping them to master what it is that helps them to understand topics of interest, topics of importance. That's really the shift that needs to be going on, and it's going on in language classes. So our goal in this session is to try to help teachers take that big lofty idea and how to make it really work for what goes on then within the classroom walls.
The show and tell has to do with, I'm going to demonstrate how to teach vocabulary, and I think a lot of sessions out there that I've gone to in the past, they give you the activities maybe, and they don't show you how to teach, how to instruct, how do you get that vocabulary to stick. And so I'm going to try my hand at teaching that on a live audience, which is probably a lot easier than a Google Hangout.
And how Myra's going to do that, she's going to try Chinese, and that's a new thing for her. So we presented this session a few times before and had a lot of fun with it. But part of that is her taking that risk to step out there as a teacher, to take on a language that is not one that she spent a whole lot of time with, but enough to be able to show the idea that, yes, we can communicate. We can take chunks of language and turn those into things that allow us to talk about things that might be interesting to our students. So that's her part of it. And then I'm going to take it in a different angle with looking at some current events that are going on and how we might shape those, shape enough vocabulary for kids to be able to understand what's going on in the world around them. So kind of two different perspectives on how we go about teaching, but that's part of the show and tell of this session that hopefully will throw up a lot of ideas, and teachers will find something in there that can really work for them. I've always said in language teaching, really in teaching in general, nothing is original. We take ideas from others, we find things that work for us, and we tweak them, we make them really relevant to our students. And that's what we're really trying to show in this session, is get some hooks that teachers can work from and make it work for them in their own teaching environment.
Yeah, on that same thread, I'm also presenting about reading. Same kind of ideas. How do you teach the vocabulary to get their students to authentic material? It could be something very short in the textbook that you do in between. It could be some of the dialogues you see. So I'm going to look at reading from a whole unit rather than a couple of activities, so that you can see how things fit together, because I think that's the other thing that's missing sometimes, is how do they link together so that they make sense and they're scaffolded for the kids so they can read. So that's, in a nutshell, my session.
I have another session that's an all-star presentation that's a night at the museum. And the idea behind it is, again, just lots of ideas that can show us how we can take advantage of every second in our class that we're offered We really are a lot of times in schools faced with a finite amount of time for language teaching, and we've got to maximize every second. Every second counts, and every activity needs to be really chosen carefully to help move our students to the best proficiency that's possible. Maybe a shift away from the fun and games, although I think we have fun with learning, and I think we have fun with becoming proficient learners. But the sense of what really are the things that can help engage our students, that, again, the hooks that get their interest, and activities that will get their interest. So again, this session is just it's a wide range of lots of different ideas, but very much with that message of promoting proficiency behind each and every activity that will be shared.
That's great. So this is the invitation. We have 3 sessions with these 2 wonderful ladies. One is on Saturday at 8 a.m., the Central State All-Star Session, Show and Tell, Increasing Vocabulary to Boost Authentic Communication. You can always find all this information on the Central State's website, csctfl.org. Another session by Mira is How to Deepen Reading Comprehension One Drop at a Time, and that is on Friday at 5 p.m. And the last session with Lisa, also an all-star session, Night at the Museum, Make Everything Come to Life, and that is on Saturday at 10:45 a.m. Again, you can find all this information at the Central State website, and we hope to see you here in Minneapolis. And if you're watching this before the Central State session, I also want to invite you for a live presentation, an interview actually, that I'm going to have with another wonderful language educator, Sara-Elizabeth Cottrell. That's going to be a live session on Saturday, February 28th at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you will be able to ask her questions live. We want to make it very interactive. She has lots of ideas to share with you as well, and you can find more information at epcshow.com. But all this live interaction online, we can reach the masses, but we really hope to see you in person here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We are a very friendly city and state. So how about you, Lisa and Mira? Will I see you there?
You bet.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, I'm on all the masses. So thank you very much for sharing your information, and see you soon. Adios.
Bye. Adios.